So I made 250K at 18 from type beats, and no, I'm not saying that in, like in a braggy way or whatever. I'm just saying it because if you're watching this, you want to know how to do the same. So let's just cut the bullshit and let me teach you how to do that. So throughout high school, right? I'm 18 years old, so I graduated in June. It's gonna be a year since I graduated now. All throughout high school, I was consistently every single day. I didn't miss a day. I was consistently posting on multiple type beat channels, and I ran it up due to one thing, and the one thing that I'm gonna tell you that allowed me to do this is probably gonna piss you off because it's stupidly simple. But all it was one thing that set me apart from most producers. So if we look at most producers, right, we see that usually, what most producers do is we pick a niche, right? And this is you yourself included, right? You pick a niche, and you've probably done something along the lines of this where you attempt to post daily on that niche and you see no traction after a few days or weeks, and then you give up, and then you repeat the cycle. For some reason, you repeat the cycle where you pick a niche, you post every day, and then after seeing no views, you just give up, but then you repeat it again. You repeat something that didn't work. And then you keep watching videos like this, and you wonder why you haven't gotten where you want to be with type beats. And it's just kind of funny to me because I used to actually be in the same position. So not entirely, but I was in the same position, right? So when I started, I was, October of 2020, this is when, Producer Grind was pumping out all those interviews of, people crushing it with beats, and beat sales specifically. That's I never really cared about the placement side of shit. I always just cared about the online beat selling stuff. Because yes, I wanted to make money. I want to make money off my music. Um, yeah, so what I did though is, yeah, I created a bunch of channels for sure. I was doing the same thing. Granted, these channels became successful, but there was also times when I would make channels that didn't work and I'd give up and then I'd repeat the cycle, and for some reason that's what I was doing. So for my first year of selling beats, I made $1,000. Now you might be like, okay, how if you've only been doing this for 4 years and your first year you only made a grand, where's the other 250K? We'll get to that. I'm going to show you what I did differently. And I'll tell you right now, it wasn't doing this. It was not doing this. So I eventually decided, okay, I'm going to be different. And here's the one thing that made me different and set me apart. Yes, I also picked a niche, and I also attempted to post daily, and I also would see no traction after a few days or weeks. But the difference is one thing. I didn't give up. That is it. I did not give up. Now, obviously, I'm going to get more in depth to it because it's not that simple, but that is like 80% of it. Yes. I picked a niche, attempted to post daily, saw no traction after a few days or weeks, but I kept going, and then I repeated the cycle with more channels, and guess where that got me? Here. All these channels that blew up. Yes, they didn't blow up right away. Matter of fact, this channel took a long time to get anything. This was my first ever Type B channel. This channel did not blow up right away either. But when it did, right? Because I built up a catalog of beats, and then all of a sudden the channel went crazy. Now, here's the thing though. This channel got banned. It got banned from monetization because I was underage. Granted, fair enough, right? I was underage, and YouTube doesn't like that. So fair enough, I got banned. But most people right here would have done what they always do, which is give up. They would have given up right here. Because think about it, you just finally, after a year, you were grinding type beats, right? Really a year and a half. Grinding type beats, you finally got what you dreamed for, right? You finally got what you dreamed of, and your beats are blowing up like crazy. You're getting so many views, and then YouTube hits you with demonetization, never will let you monetize this channel again. Most people give up here. And also, I then started another channel here, right? This is my biggest channel ever. And when I started it, I was going crazy, right? Tons of views, 50,000 views in a day. And then it slowed down to about 5,000 views a day, which you're probably like, okay, I would do anything to get 5,000 views a day. But when you consider the fact that I was getting way more than that, right? Like 5 times that every day, it is a bit less, right? Now, most people here would be like, oh, well, the channel got a lot of views and now it's going down. I guess I gotta start a new channel, and maybe that run will be the run, right? Maybe that one will be the one where I just never stop going down. Guys, do you think Mr. Beast creates a video and it gets a lot of views, and then the next video gets half the views? Do you think he goes, "Oh, I guess I need to make a new channel"? What? How, where did we start doing that? Why did we start doing that? Because look what happened when I stuck the course. Look what happened when I actually stuck to it and said, okay, I'm at a little bit of a downturn right now. Okay, let's think about how we can fix this. Let's think about how we can actually get these views back up. What am I doing wrong? What was I doing in the first place that got me these views, right? These crazy numbers. And that's exactly what I did. I stuck the course, and sure enough, I had a crazy run because of it, okay? So my point here is, stop making a new channel the second you start going a little bit down in views, right? I don't care if your channel plummets like this. Why give up? You picked a niche. The niche should be good. The niche shouldn't be the problem. If the niche is the problem, then you need to work on your niche selection skills, right? But the niche shouldn't be the problem. So why would making a new channel on the same niche make any difference, right? Because that's not how YouTube works, right? So that was the main thing that set me apart from every other type beat producer, is I stuck the course and I focused on actually building branded type beat channels that would actually go on runs, right? And I did that in any niche you can think of, Lil Baby beats. I did that. And then I took the proof of concept, right? I noticed, I was like, okay, they banned me on this channel, but this niche did crazier than even Lil Baby. And this was a low competition, but decent search volume keyword. It wasn't even the craziest, like, best optimized keyword. But I noticed it did it even better than Lil Baby. So I would use that proof of concept to then do it again on a new channel. And sure enough, this channel did 10 times or 15 times the numbers. And I just kept growing my YouTube network, and I made a lot of money in the process, right? Not a lot of money, but a good amount of money for me to live off, right? This is exactly what I did to get where I am. And I like to think of it as like 3 phases for type beats. So essentially, the first phase is you're a copycat. So you're going on YouTube, you're searching up niches that you maybe would want to go after, right? You're searching these niches up, you're copying these channels that are at the top, and you're just hoping that maybe you can get in the algorithm too, right? Good. You should be doing that. That's exactly what I did too. I don't like when people try being too original. I'm not saying you can't be original with your beats, but when you try being too original and with your titles and your thumbnails, and you're not even getting in the algorithm. Because here's the thing, with type beats, you need to get next to these videos. You need to get next to the videos that are doing good. So the only way to do that is to make thumbnails. Your videos have thumbnails, right? Make your thumbnails just like the people who are killing it. Because then guess what? YouTube looks for the thumbnails, and they will put your video next to the videos that are crushing it. And to prove that, I'll prove that right now. I'll go into an incognito window. Let's go to type B. I'll show you how much thumbnails really matter. So let's go to type B, and then let's go to, okay, here's a freestyle beat, right? Let's do a freestyle beat. If I click on a freestyle beat, guess what pops up next to it? You see what I'm saying? Like that, okay, and maybe that's just a coincidence, right? Okay, sure. Let's close out of that and let's do another incognito window. Maybe that's a coincidence, right? Okay. Well, let's see what pops up when I click on a picture of lean, right? And then maybe we'll get some smoking and lean and stuff like that. Oh, wow. We're getting more of it right here. Okay. Okay, so maybe it's not just a coincidence, right? It seems to be that we're getting a lot of it right here. Interesting how that works. Okay. There we go, right? So YouTube matches the thumbnails. This is why your thumbnails are everything, because they will make or break if your video gets positioned next to the videos that are crushing it. Think about it. If these videos right here are getting 500 views an hour, you want to be positioned next to them in the suggested feed, right? Because then if 500 people are clicking that and 10% click on your video that's right next to it, you're going to get a guaranteed 50 views an hour, right? Because it's consistent. So If you tried going for R&B like this and you did a thumbnail of a sunflower or some shit, right? Guess what? You're not gonna go viral. I'm sorry. Like that you're not going to. There is a science to this stuff. Okay, we call these thumbnail formats. Okay, so for example, with like the California and the Detroit kind of niche, there is a lot of pictures like this, right? Drugs, lean, right, and girls smoking. Like that is a common theme we see if we look up these type of beats. Now there's a reason for that. It's because they got the highest click-through rate, and so the people who are crushing at the top are using these thumbnails. So if you were to go for the same niche with the same thumbnails that they're using, you're gonna have a higher chance of getting positioned right next to them. So yes, you should be copying at the start. You should. But once you get to, 5, 10,000 subscribers off copying, then you get to phase two, which is where you start studying your own analytics. Okay. So you start seeing, where's my audience from and what times are they watching my videos the most? Okay, I'll start posting at this time because they're the most active, which would give my videos a way higher chance of getting in the algorithm, right? It's little things like that. Then you start seeing, okay, what are the most popular search terms for my channel? Okay, oh, it's Detroit type beat. I'm not even putting Detroit type beat in my title. Okay, I'm gonna start doing that and for sure start ranking. It's stuff like that that really will change how your channel scales from there. And that brings me into phase three, which is all about scaling. So, okay, okay, I'm getting 1 million views a month by posting 3 times a week. Okay, all I need to do is just now post every day and I'll get double the views. And that's just an example. Then you could also be like, okay, for example, when I started blowing up all my Type B channels, right? I started going crazy with all my Type B channels, getting so much traffic, too much traffic to handle for a 16-year-old, right? I started getting so much inquiries. And so what I did was like, okay, I realized I'm in school 7 hours of the day. I can't respond to these emails, meaning there's a leak in my business. There is a lot of cash that I'm leaving on the table because I'm not responding to these people right away and building a relationship with them. So I was like, okay, how can I fix this? So then I created an automation, which is basically a inquiry autoresponder that creates a personalized message with AI and writes it better than I could ever write it, right? Okay, I wasn't the best in school, but yeah, so I developed something like this to solve my problem and also scale my business, which is exactly what I did. So once you get to this point where you have so much traffic, you're going to need stuff like this that allows you to scale your business and fix any leaks. You do not want any leaks in your business because I'm not going to lie, the YouTube analytics fluctuate. So when you have a run right now and you're going crazy with the YouTube views, you do not want to miss out on that run. You want to capitalize on it as much as possible. And then you want to repeat the process. So you can do that on any channel, any niche, and you repeat the process and you keep scaling your business that way. And this is exactly what I did. And this ended up getting me months where, I did $1,600 in a month on Cash App. Like these are manual sales, and this is from my autoresponder. This is what happens when you respond to people within 60 seconds. Okay, I'm not shoving some bullshit down your throat. This is real business stuff this is what all businesses do. I'm not showing you something crazy unique. It's just that producers never do stuff like this for some reason. We never take things seriously and treat our business like a business for some reason. But I did. And that's why I started getting sales like this. Just manual transactions. This isn't even from my BeatStars sales, right? Okay. So you want to fix any leaks in your business. So right now, you might not even have a crazy traffic problem where you have so many inquiries. That's okay. But look for other leaks in your business. Because let me tell you, the more you look, the more you find. And it will stress you out. But that's good because you want to solve any type of leak. And you can just solve one at a time. You don't have to go crazy and solve them all in a day. But you do want to be prioritizing that. Because let me tell you, if I would have developed these automations sooner, I would have probably done double what I made. Maybe not double, but I would have done probably 350 instead of 250. Now, obviously, I didn't stop with my main channel at 30 million views. I didn't stop. So I continued and I went for R&B, right? This video got nearly 500,000 views and still sells to this day. It made a lot of money just on BeatStars alone. And then I just kept scaling that, right? If it's not broken, don't fix it. So I started more R&B channels. And this one did 250,000 views with 7 uploads. Wild. And then I went for, trap beats, freestyle beats, right? I've done this a couple times, actually. very good niche. I went for a niche. Well, this one didn't even use a proper niche. I went for all kinds of keywords, and I didn't even put type beat in the title. And this was an experiment channel, and it also blew up, right? Because when you understand the formula and when you understand what works with YouTube, you just it becomes super super easy to just crush it, especially if you have good beats in the vault. You can just start up a channel, take the same beats you've posted on some other channels, post them on another channel, and now you have another channel that blew up. Once you understand the formula, obviously it's not that simple, but the journey has been pretty awesome, right? And I show this stuff to, one, obviously educate you, but also to motivate you, because if I would have seen that I was gonna be able to do this as a 14-year-old kid, if I was gonna be able to see what I would have built, I would have thought you were lying, right? I would have thought there's no way. I thought type beats were dead back in 2020. No. Anyone that tells you the type beat game is dead or oversaturated, check how many numbers they have. Because I guarantee you it's gonna be like 300 subs max, okay? Maybe that. So they'll be telling you, oh, type beats are saturated. They're way too oversaturated. Beat selling died a long time ago. And they'll never have sold a beat. They're telling you to not do something because they failed at it. So it's like, why would you want to listen to someone like that? Instead, please listen to someone like me to motivate you, who has actually done what they're talking about and has done it after type beats got saturated, right? Such bullshit. But that's what people say, man. And I never listened to that, and look where it got me. Now, also, if you think I'm bullshitting about the autoresponder, it really does get me a lot of manual sales, right? The second I implemented this, you can literally see this one was February 18th, and then February 28th, another $100 sale, February 24th, $200 sale. These are all manual transactions, right? And I managed to get a ton of sales, right? $1,000. Obviously, I'm still getting the BeatStar sales, right? But the manual transactions are so critical because you're building relationships. And if you're trying to only focus on BeatStars, you're missing out on such a bigger bag too. So obviously these automations are really advanced, but the least you can do is use something like MailChimp or Klaviyo to be able to respond to people that sign up to your email list. Obviously, it's not as good as having an autoresponder for inquiries in your email inbox, but something like MailChimp or Klaviyo, they always have templates to create these automations, these email automations, right? They're obviously not as complex as this, but at least they'll get you somewhere. So that's a leak that you could fix right now. And I don't know, it's like $20 a month maybe for MailChimp. I think for the first like 500 contacts, you get like a free plan or something like that. But that's a great way as well. And I'm really big on like the Instagram manual transaction sales. Like I'm really big on the manual beat sales because I'm really good with people, so I'm able to crush it when it comes to that. And I also believe that speed is everything in a beat selling in business in general, actually, not just a beat selling business, but speed is everything, because you could respond to someone 10 hours later and they already bought 2 beats from another dude, right? So if you respond to them in 60 seconds, or you do some cold outreach like this. For example, this is my Instagram lead scraper. It literally filters out a bunch of Instagram profiles, chooses only artist profiles, like up and coming independent artists, and then it creates a DM, a personalized DM with AI. And so you're able to mass scale the whole Instagram DM method with something like this. And so this is the stuff that like is where, if you're trying to scale your beat selling business and are looking for the next step, it's stuff like this that, first of all, we've never seen the producer community before, but it's stuff like this that will take you from 1K a month to 10K a month. And that this is on top of your YouTube, right? So this is the what we're kind of headed, is with like using AI and starting to automate the process, and I'm here for it. I think it's really cool. All these automations I've built by myself, by the way. If you want to hire me to build these for your beat selling business, feel free to just fill out a little form down below, and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. But yeah, so this is how I managed to make over $250,000 at 18 years old from type beats. It might not be millions of dollars, but for an 18-year-old, like, I'm pretty proud of what I've been able to build. I probably could have been able to build more as well, and I'm working on it. But for right now, what I've been able to do in the last 4 years, I'm pretty proud of how far I've come so far. And I just thought I'd share it with you to give you some motivation and ideally educate you as well. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one.